Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, episode 87 of Guess the Trade. That's where subscribers send in their loadouts. We take a look at the bags, the tools, the totes, whatever it is that they send in, and then we guess down in the comment section below what it is we think they do with those tools. Well, back in episode 86, we looked at two different loadouts. The first one we looked at was David Alderette. He had a Veto Pro Pack MP1X, an MB High Vis, and then a Klein Mod Box tote. Lots of great tools to look at in his loadout. What was it that he did with those tools? Well, I'm not really sure because he hasn't answered yet, at least as far as while I'm filming this. Maybe he's left one by now, but it's for sure that he's definitely a wire person of some sort. He either does electrical, low voltage, something along those lines based on those tools. So we didn't really get an answer, but it was a really great loadout to look at anyways. Appreciate you, David, for sending that in. And then maybe if you're watching this, you can go back and put an answer in the comment section of that video. Well, the second loadout we looked at was Astro Boy. He had a Veto Pro Pack SPMC and then also the SC45 with some good tools in there as well. What was it he did with his tools? Well, he sent me an email and said that he is a low voltage technician in the Philippines. So a lot of you were guessing low voltage tech of some sort of fashion. So really good guessing. I've actually been to the Philippines. It's one of the few places out of the United States that I've been. It was an amazing place to be. The people were fantastic. So it was good to hear that that's where you're from. Appreciate you sending your loadout. Really good loadout to look at as well. Well, that was episode 86. Today in episode 87, we're going to look at one loadout. It is Billy Castaneda Jr. He has a Veto Pro Pack OTMC that we're going to look at with some really good tools. He also has an SC45 hanging off of the side of it as well. So we're going to see that also. But let's go ahead and jump into Billy's tools and see if we can guess what it is that he does. So we'll start out with the outside of the bag. Again, Veto Tech OTMD. I think I might have just said MC before we got into here because most of my Vetos end in C, so it's probably just something that I was thinking. We're going to see these tools out, so this is just an idea of what will go in that. It is a tote. Some people prefer totes. Some people prefer bags that zip up. I've kind of went through both stages. I prefer bags that zip up for how I work, but again, it just depends on how you work. Does the weather come into play? All that kind of stuff. Each one kind of has its advantage, just depends on what kind of field that you're in. So he's got a tote that we're looking at here. We'll move on to the next picture. Here is a side view. I'm seeing some Knipex screwdrivers, lots of Knipex pliers. I see some Klein stuff, Vessel stuff. Also looks like he's got maybe like a safety glass case or something like that. Also running Milwaukee M12 it looks like as well. Moving on over. So here he's got Vessel little bit holders down there in the bottom inside of those little pouches on the Veto, and that might be a pretty good idea because on all those that, like, even the ones inside your pocket, the ones that are intended kind of to hold bits, if you put a 2-inch bit or something like that in it, it's sometimes very hard to get your fingers in there and pull them out. So maybe that's why he's got that on here like this. He can just grab that little keychain, pull his bits right out. That might be a good option for some of you. You might not have to use the Vessel, but if you put another bit holder of some sort on the end of it, it might make it a little bit easier to get out. So that's a pretty good tip right there. Again, Klein screwdrivers. Looks like he's got a lot of Knipex Comfort Grip. Those look like the newer Knipex that have those where you can slide in the little different colors and stuff like that. Looks like he's got those there. Here is the other side. So here's that SC45. He's got it hanging off this side of the tote. Looks like he's got a JBL speaker, Milwaukee Fastback 1505, Purdy little multi-tool scraper, lots of bits, gloves, all the standard type stuff right there. Over here we've got some regular bit rails. Looks like he's got a hex key set, pretty long one. Then he's got the Klein flip sockets, metric SAE, both of those. And then a bit set with nut drivers and also some bits as well. Over here he's got, looks like the pipe vise. So I don't know if that one is that one looks like it's probably a pretty good size. I think mine's smaller than that one. I think mine is the micro, or I can't even remember what the name of it is now, but in my mind, after I got it, I don't use it that much. And I would think that the next size up, whatever it is, I think mine might be the micro 5. Maybe there's a 10 or an Amigo or something like that. I think that size would actually be a little bit more useful if you're kind of wanting that kind of a tool. But he's got the pipe vise. He's also got a WD-40 precision pen. I've bought those in the last year or so. Those are great. Weehaw bit holder. Move on over here. Again, JBL speaker. There is his SC45. So all that stuff we just looked at is what's in there. And then he's got the pouch. Looks like he's got a Vera screwdriver, possibly some Milwaukee strippers of some sort, and an ox pencil. And then he's got the black Milwaukee gloves. Move on to the next one. So this is all that stuff that's right there probably. Ox pencil, ox clog-free marker as well. A little wire brush, Purdy multi-tool, foldable scraper, and then those little bits there, I don't know if that's the, I think it's Racketeers or somebody makes a bunch of bits that are colored like that, but those could be, I bet if I got on Amazon right now and looked up colored bits, there's probably 15 Amazon brands as well. So I'm not sure if those are Racketeers or something else, but you can let us know that, Billy. Move on to the next picture. So here's that eyeglass case. It is safety glasses, and then also a mask in there. He's got a Othemo headlamp. Also the S-Wing foldable jab saw. Looks like he's got some thread tape, Blue Monster, and some probably white Teflon. So that vessel tang through I saw a minute ago, that is that spring assisted, however it is you call that, you know, like a removal hammer type screwdriver. I personally have never even used that screwdriver in that way. I just like it to be a different looking handle than my other ones, and I can put whatever bit I want to in it. So if I'm running a pouch and I've got my dedicated Phillips, I got my dedicated slotted, maybe I want to run a square number 2, I can take out that handle, put a bit holder with the square number 2, put that in my pouch, and now I know which screwdriver is which whenever I look down to grab one. So that's the whole reason why I bought that one, was just to have a little bit different handle. Then he's got the Klein, looks like a knife. He's got the Knipex electrician shears, a Klein flashlight, a couple Knipex insulated screwdrivers, and then the pocket Klein as far as the precision driver as well. Move on to the next one. So there's another Milwaukee Fastback 1505. A couple of them little miniature cobalt hex keys. I think I remember Matt HMM sending me a picture of those. They're pretty cheap at Lowe's. Some double-ended bits. Maybe those fit into that new Milwaukee. Maybe that's why he's got those, the 1505, because those take double-ended bits. Maybe he picked those up. And then he's got a lot of vessel bits there as well. So here we've got the Milwaukee little flat light. I never did pick that one up. It looks like it would be a very good light. I think is that one USB, like the little USB, like looks like batteries, type Milwaukee batteries. I don't buy any lights that have that just because I don't want to keep up with those batteries. But they do have some really good options in that style. So that might be what that one is. I can't really remember. He's got some Craftsman, some of the little foldable totes. I've got some of those right in the rain. We've seen that in a couple loadouts. A Ergodyne ProFlex kneeling pad. Keep that in my door. And there's another Milwaukee light that I think is that USB stuff as well. The Craig little jig for reveals, and then also just for measuring depths and stuff. I've got that and use that 100% all the time. I love that thing. A little torpedo level. A Knipex pair of 180s and 150s of the pliers wrench. Vessel USB, the Klein, I think 15-in-1 ratcheting, if I remember right. That's the number on that one. And then a pair of, let's see, Garner Bender, I think. Maybe on these strippers. Looks like it also has a non-contact voltage tester or something like that on it as well. So that one strips from 8 to 20 on the solid, and then 10 to 22 on the stranded. So pretty good, you know, range on that pair of strippers right there. There's probably a lot of people that would be interested to know your feedback on those, Billy. Let's see, next picture. So this is probably in that middle section because it's got that little tote up there of his OTMD, and he's got the Milwaukee. I think that's that newer compact version because it doesn't say fuel on it. I think that's what that is. File magnetic pickup tool. This little knife deal right here, I think this thing, if I remember right, takes jigsaw blades, sawzall blades, like pretty much every kind of blade you can think of. I think you can put that in there. I've had it in my Amazon wish list for a long time. I've never pulled the trigger on it, so curious about your feedback on that or if anybody else that has it. The Knipex 250s on the smart grips. Those are probably the best self-adjusting pair of pliers that I've used. And then he's got the 250s on the Cobras. Here is another pipe vise. This one's definitely longer for sure. So this might be the one that I was kind of thinking of. So that's that one there. He's got a combination square with a level. He's got the small DeWalt hammer. I think a lot of people buy that one because it fits in bags fairly well. It's pretty small and compact. And then he's got the Craig stud finder with the level. And I think that one, if I remember right, also shoots a laser up. So once you find like a screw somewhere on your wall, you can press the button and it will shoot a laser in case wherever that screw is not where you want to make your mark. And then he's also got a stud mark right there. I've never seen that. I'm not sure what that does. I'll have to look that one up. Next picture. So here is that front side of that tote, I guess it is. And it has his vessel USB is right in the rain. Again, there's that Tech OTMD real big there. And then here is the stuff that was on that front side, all those pliers, screwdrivers. There is his bit holders. So he did have like some 2-inch to 3-inch bits down inside of those. Also a carabiner with some adapters to go to sockets. He's got the Vera double-ended joker, so that one's a kind of a newer tool as well. So he's got a lot of newer tools in here. He's got the new Knipex. All those Knipex we're looking at right there. Several of them had those new tether spots on them. So he's got the installation pliers, the forge wire strippers, the twin grip, diagonals, needle nose, and then also some like just combination type pliers. Knipex insulated, Klein insulated. Let's see, next picture, there's his name. So here is some of the tools that are in that OTMD. Right there again is that name tag. This is the stuff I think that was down in that middle section. Here is some more there. All these are just in whatever order he sent them to me in. So where something is in his bag, not 100% sure, but you can kind of see it whenever we get back to these where it starts showing it. But there is his SC45 as well. So that's kind of a separate thing outside of the OTMD. And then now we'll go through, you can kind of see all these tools in here. Very great layout of tools. You can see everything. Again, that's kind of the advantage of a tote. So here is that side right there. Here is the other side. And then here is that first picture that we started out with. But that's Billy Castaneda Jr.'s loadout of his Veto Pro Pack Tech OTMD, not MC. Even though I think there is an MC, I believe the very first Veto bag I bought was an OTMC. I could be wrong on that, but it was a tote just like that. And I actually like totes, but I do prefer the bags that zip up. But again, that's a matter of personal preference. It depends on what you do, what environment you work in. There's advantages to both. My tools won't fall out of my bag, but I also have to open them to be able to see them. Depends on, again, what you do. It's not a right or wrong answer on that. It just depends on your preference. But lots of great tools in there, lots of newer tools as well. So maybe you guys have some questions for some of those newer tools that you've been thinking about buying. You can ask them that in the comment section below. I had a few questions throughout that process of going through the pictures in the first place also. Interested to see what your guys' guesses are because there's quite a few tools in there that go in certain directions. So interested to see what you guys come up with. But that's Billy's loadout. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I hope this video was helpful in some way. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video.